like, why is it important for an ecosystem, and what are the different levers that the different platforms can turn to make it attractive and to incentivize people, INC pun intended, and to make it just make sense to do it versus staking or mining or publishing or anything else?
Yeah, I can start it off just like why you would LP or why someone would LP, and there are a lot of different reasons. The main one is to make money. Generally centralized. Generally, when you think of a market, most traditional markets, like a centralized entity owns all of the liquidity that's being traded with, and then there's like a fee associated with the swapping. Like if you like go on your Vanguard account or like Charles Schwab and you notice there's like a fee when you buy or sell something, part of that's probably because they're providing liquidity for you to be able to do the swaps, right? Well, in a decentralized exchange, it's not one person providing the coins to swap, it's everybody. So though anybody has the ability to. So like the fees that are associated with doing the swap, providing the service of using your coin, of providing the service of giving your coins for other people to trade with, like you have the ability to earn those fees. Another reason why people would want to provide liquidity is they're starting up a system of their own. We're a market. Cryptocurrency is a market financial asset. So like you need people to trade, and if people want to trade, you need coins to be able to do that trading with. And so if you're trying to start up a project, product, whatever it is, you're going to want to make sure that people at least have some ability to swap in and out of your coin, so they can buy it up to however many X's you want to get. So yeah, making money, jump starting a community, and just I think those are pretty much the two main ones. And for most people, it's pretty much trying to make some passive income off their tokens.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I agree with Crypto Sloth. I think if you want to look at it like in a colorful way, you got your big city, okay, and I guess you could say your liquidity providers are perhaps the equivalent of your local businessman, right? You go in there, you do your product or service that you need to do, and you collect your fee, right? And we need people to have their products available for sale, and they need to be obviously to be there. They need to be incentivized in some sort of way. So, in the PulseChain ecosystem, there is economic mass here, and so there is going to be people that trade it, which is like the equivalent of buying and selling your products, or creating economic activity, right? And there is obviously the bootstrapping mechanisms that exist for PulseX and for PHUX at the moment, right through in the incentive token on PulseX, and then obviously through the PHUX token on PHUX, right? And I guess those could be looked at as like a government, like a grant of sorts, I suppose, or like a stimulus to kind of get the wheels rolling for the whole town, I suppose. You know what I mean? So it's a very integral part of an ecosystem that we're aware of, and Crypto Sloth was talking about your Vanguard accounts and things like this, and your market makers, right? Those guys, they make decent amount of money just market making all day, right? They just ensure that there is an ask and there is a bid always in the market. And those guys get to, there's a few of them, and they get to make all of the money basically, right? Whereas with crypto, you get to be the market maker, you get to allow people to trade in and out of your coins, and you get to collect the fiat, right? So that's pretty powerful. That's very powerful. So but yeah, that's what I think about that.
Oh, there's one more. It's kind of an offshoot of like earning fees, but like if you're such a large player that like you can't reasonably exit your position, like you have $1 billion of hex and there's only $500,000 of liquidity in there, like you're not able to exit with any reasonable percentage of your paper value. But with liquidity providing, if you provide a decent amount of the market, like you are able to get some kind of exit liquidity while also supporting the market. So like you support that like paper valuation that you have while also getting like actual value out of the system through that large bag that you have. So like large players basically use it as a way to get value from the bag that they can't reasonably sell.
That's true. Yeah, that's a great point.
Yep. It's a fun game, I think. And then also, like, with like decentralized exchanges and exactly what Dylan was saying, like, we all are able to get our piece of the pie of the market volume of whatever ecosystem we're in. Like, that's one of the strengths of crypto, where it's like no single entity owns all of the liquidity. There's no single market maker typically. There's a lot of people can, or like, if there are large market makers and they decide to exit, well, there could still be numerous medium to small size wallets who are also providing that service. It makes the system really robust. And it's also why I'm a fan of having multiple DEXs like PulseX, PHUX. A famous will be a DEX technically too. PP, 9-inch. And other ones, because like now we have multiple places to decentralize the liquidity, so we're not dependent on any one place for our trading.
Wouldn't the counter argument to having more DEXs be there would be less volume and less fees earned for providers, except if in the case of there was only one, right? Like, another question would be like, why Balancer fork versus Uniswap fork, and why is that important?
Sure. So if you look at like the market distribution of like the Ethereum DEXs, you'll see that, it sort of looks like you have a winner, and then you have someone that's substantially in second place, and then you have like a third place, and then it's pretty close neck and neck for the fourth, fifth, sixth, etc. And it kind of, it has that nice downward where it's like you have a very large peak. I wish I could show it to you.
Asymptotic.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like a nice distribution model of like a regular, I would say, like any other sort of like asset class or like competitive business in a region. Okay. Like, there's going to be the chains that are most dominant, and then you're going to have the ones that are a little bit less dominant, but they're still very powerful players. And then you're going to have the mom and pops, et cetera. Right. And then they're all going to get some sort of piece of the pie. Okay. And what's cool about on PulseChain, which we don't have yet, but an aggregator will just end up being used anyways. And the aggregator will just go across all the pools no matter what. Right. So it's naturally going to have the big guy that, with the thickest liquidity is going to get most of the trading volume. The guy with the second most liquidity will get the second most amount of trading volume with these routers anyways. Right. So, that's one of the pieces that we're missing at the moment would be the routers, in which they are coming. We all know that they're going to be here at some point. The Power City guys, they're working on theirs. These guys, the 8-inch guys, they're having one. There's another one that starts with a P. I forgot the name. But yeah, those guys will be the best friends of the liquidity providers for, whether or not they're on PulseX V2, or whether or not they're on, PHUX or 9-inch eventually, right? So these aggregators are, the bloodline, I suppose.